Hey everyone, welcome back to With the Waves. Today I'm here with
Jude.
Introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about you and like what you're doing, stuff like that.
Yeah, so my name's Jude. I've met G a few months ago, and ever since then we've really just gotten to know each other more and more. And yeah, I go to ASU right now. I'm studying global logistics management, and yeah, we're kind of neighbors too. So it was a pretty cool setup that we got going on. But
Yeah. We live like down the street from each other, like literally what, 5 minutes it took you?
yeah, literally, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm leaving. Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, for real.
But it was cool.
When we first talked about this podcast, we wanted to do like unpopular opinions, but I feel like you have so much to say just about your life.
Yeah.
And like low-key my mom was telling me about it and I was like,
Dude, your mom's so cool.
I was like asking, thank you. All right, let's get started. Like where, cause I'm not trying to be like that, but you're not from here, like from the U.S. Like where'd you grow up?
Well, I was born here, so luckily I secured the citizenship,
Oh,
you know.
shit, okay,
But
okay.
then my parents split up when I was like really, really young, like I was like sub 5. And when they split up, my mom took me and my sisters back to where her and my dad are from, which is Syria.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved to Syria, and I lived there for most of like my childhood, and then like the war started going on there and whatever, and we lived through that for a little bit until we were able to get out. And then closest country right next to us is Lebanon, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, we're going to Lebanon, like roads opened up. So we moved to Lebanon, and I lived there until I was 15, and then I moved here. And when I moved here, most of my family stayed back home, but my dad was here.
Yeah.
That I like just hadn't seen really much in that whole time that I was in the Middle East. But my dad was here, so I just came here, lived straight with him, and my uncle and cousins were here too, so I kind of like saw them a lot. But yeah, really I just moved here, and ever since then I was just like thrown into the mix. It's been 6 years now. I remember I moved here August 1st of 2017, and yeah, it was definitely a big change, like especially with the whole like reason I came here. It was just so out of nowhere. Like I had a week to drop my life there and come here.
So were you in like, you're in middle school when you came here? Or?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I moved here like halfway through high school, and yeah, everyone already had their lives, everyone had their friends, but luckily I play soccer. Or
that's like a secure like friendship right there. Low-key,
right.
Like they're homies. Like my brother right now, like he just like every new team he goes into, like they just like he just makes friends, but also could be just my brother.
No, every time, like that's so true. Every time you're just part of a club or just like an organization like that, it's just so much easier, especially with the like soccer program my high school had. We were just all so involved in each other's lives, just around each other all the time.
So you went to Corona?
Yeah.
Okay, with Moy.
Yeah, with Moy and Alex. They both went to
for real?
Corona with me, yeah.
Okay.
And they both played. That's how I met them. Like Moy's probably the first friend I made here, and now we're like still friends. We live together and shit, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I moved here from then, and ever since then just trying to finish
So
school.
your dad like lived here and then you like within that week you just came over here and like lived with your dad?
Yeah, my dad lived here that whole time.
Okay.
Like that whole time we were in the Middle East, he was still in the same house. He got a new wife, a little stepmom, but yeah, so that we just like really couldn't take the life there anymore, like for me at least, because I still had so much more left for my education, and we just were not really doing that well, because back home we had to like pay for school, and we couldn't really do that anymore, so we were like, oh, I'd either finish school or gotta figure something else out to do. So we decided that I would just move here and actually go to school.
I did not know you had to pay for school over there.
Yeah, I mean, not everywhere, but the school that I did go to was, because I went to a private school, but even public schools costed there, but definitely not as much. But I went to a private school just because the education was so much better, and like public schools, at least in the area that I lived in, because I lived in such a small town in Lebanon, it just was not.
What town are you from?
It's called Alay.
Okay.
But my parents, like where I lived in Syria, were from Hama. It's called.
Okay. But yeah, because my dad, like, Palestine is so different, but like in Berzit, like he went to like this like church private school, and he said he used to like pay for it, and like all these, like I would go up to, it was kind of funny like going back and visiting, and I'd be like, oh, like Ana min Dar al Hajj, and they'd be like, oh, like what's your middle name, and I'd say like my dad's name, and they'd be like, oh my god, like he went to our high school like way back when, and I was like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting, like, because I knew he had to pay for that, but I didn't know public school either, so that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely way less charges. It's probably just like uniform charges and stuff, at least from where I was at, but yeah, the private school fees were ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
and we just could not really do it anymore. So I decided to move here and finish school, and I didn't think I would go through college, but here we are. We're at ASU.
You having fun so far?
I'm kind of liking it. Yeah,
You
it's
are?
not bad. Definitely, like, gets pretty tedious sometimes with work and stuff, but that's everyone.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, hey, it's an adaptation, but honestly, like, when you get out there, you're like, it's chill.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, you, like, look back and you're like, I did that. You're like, okay, no, it wasn't even that bad when we, like, first thought about it.
Exactly.
But.
No, I fight that every morning. I have to wake up for class. I'm like, damn, I don't want to go. Well, it's not even that bad. You're going to make fun of me.
Is it
but
9?
No, I have to wake up at 8. My class is at 9.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
No.
But
Like,
I wake up and I'm like, damn. And then by the time I'm done with class, I'm like, oh, that wasn't bad. Like, I feel fine.
Like, low-key, like, this, especially, okay, this is so stupid, too, but, like, literally, like, in the next couple weeks, so, like, this week is, like, Pi Phi's Aerospike, and so it's, like, we're doing activities for, like, to raise money for our philo, which is super fun, but I'm just like, oh my god, I'm never gonna rest this week, like,
right.
I'm so tired, but then I'm like, I could have my life so much worse, but.
Yeah, and those weeks, like, as much as they feel like, damn, like, so hard, whatever, by the end of it, you just feel so, like, accomplished, and you just feel so good about it, but.
Yeah. So, when you, like, pulled up to the United States again, were you born in Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and then you just bounced, okay, cool. When you did pull back up, did you grow up in, like, a strict household, like, kind of with your parents? In that sense, or?
That's a really good question, because the way that I grew up, like I was saying, like my dad was here the whole time, so I grew up in a house with my mom and 4 older sisters, so I was like the younger only boy, and like you might know how that is, like being Middle Eastern, how like you have to take on a lot of responsibilities, so like I was kind of given a lot of responsibilities, but at the same time a lot of independence since I was a kid. Because of the responsibilities I was given. So my mom would, like, the way she raised me was, like, do your thing, like, if I had to go out, if I had to do whatever, like, I can go take care of whatever I needed to, but she just wanted to make sure she knew where I was, and that I wasn't doing anything stupid, which I, maybe looking back at it now a little bit, but I definitely don't think, like, I was doing anything harmful, and, yeah, it was really just that, like, I still had to try to take care of everything I could in terms of like electricity and when people come fill up the water storages and shit, like all that stuff. I'm the man in the house, so I had to like talk and deal with all that.
Yeah.
But realistically, I was like 11, so.
Holy shit.
So it was kind of like I was able to, but all of that I think is really nice because like I was able to just learn so much early on in life and just like dealing with people, being thrown in situations, especially with my life going from U.S. to Syria, Syria to Lebanon, Lebanon back to the U.S., and each time it's been a completely fresh start. Like, when I moved back here, my family had so many, like, you know how the Arab community is here, like, almost a lot of people know each other and stuff.
Arizona.
Really?
Not for me, at least.
Yeah, well, my parents were really involved in, like, the Arab community before, and then when we moved and came back, like, my mom and dad still kind of know those people, but I didn't really get myself involved at all in that, just because, like, yeah, there are people that my parents know and people that knew me when I was a baby, but that's completely not who I am right now. So I kind of, every time I've had to bounce to a new country, I've had to, like, really start from the ground up, which kind of, like, I feel like has taught me a lot throughout.
Definitely, like, not even, like, a new state, new school, like, a new country, like,
new
even
continent.
though you were still here.
Yeah, but I love it here, honestly. Like, the switch was crazy, and it was such a culture shock at first, but I feel like there's nothing you can't get used to if you really want to get yourself used to it, you know?
Yeah. For a girl, it's definitely different, like, seeing my parents parent my brother, but also he, like, so spoiled, love him to death, but he really is, like, we need to, like, whip him into shape soon before he, like, gets to the point where he can't do anything for himself. But, like, growing up as girls, like, my sister, like, my older sister had such strict, like rules, like, she could not do anything, like, curfew by 9 p.m., like, literally all that. And, like, me was, like, less, and then Murnau, less. And then my brother, like, I don't even know what he's gonna, like, be doing with his life because he's only 11.
I feel like that's a big, like, parenting thing, especially when, like, parents start to have more kids at first. Like, you gotta remember, like, we're kind of like trial runs at first, you know, like parents don't know what they're getting themselves into. So like the first kid is always going to be the kid that they're like most worried they're going to mess up with, you know, and then the more they go down the line, the more they just start realizing like it's not that deep, but they just like they've been parents for forever now, like to them. So it's like they just deal with it a lot different, I feel like. But
yeah, and like my dad, like he came to the US later. He came at like 17. He went to college here, and he what did he do? He went to community college first. But like he, to this day, like I talk to him and just like let him know like the things that like, I guess it's like talking back to him in a way, but like I just try to talk to him, and he goes, you have to understand I'm old fashioned. I'm like, it's been 30 years.
I used to have to carry 4 sheeps on my back when I went to class. That's what my dad says.
Oh, I was like,
type shit.
No, like, for real. He's like, I literally had to walk through storms. I'm like, I actually just visited. You did not, but okay.
I had to climb mountains to get to class.
I was like, a hill, but for sure, past a convenience store, like. But yeah, it was kind of funny when he told me that. And then my mom like came here kind of early. My mom came here when she was like 5, and she was honestly like Americanized quickly. Like she like adapts. Like my sister, my older sister, she didn't come to her power hour, but to my mom, I was like, Mom, you're gonna see me drink like in the future. Like just come on over.
Damn, I had no idea your mom came here that early. Like she just seems like so hot up. Like
yeah, no, she is like she came at like 5, but like the East Coast is so like Arabic central. Like when I go over there and like visit my cousins, like I actually feel immersed in the culture. Like my cousin, like when I go over there, like I like literally go to like Arabic conventions, like when they like do it in the East Coast, and they're having one soon in like San Francisco, which is super sick, and I'm excited.
That's sick. I low-key haven't been to like any Arab community things or anything, mainly because I just feel like if I went anywhere, like I know I lived most of my life in the Middle East, but I feel like if I stepped into like a Arabi populated place, they'd be like, what the hell is this kid doing here?
They'd be like, who are you?
Yeah, why did Connor step in?
Why did Connor step in? Know, well, no, because because being from Arizona, like low-key, like everyone's like, I'm like low-key, like, I don't want to like say it, but like whitewash compared to like the people in New York. Like, because I don't talk, like I talk Arabic, I can't write it, and I can't, I can kind of speak it a little bit, but I understand it a lot. Like, I can speak it to the point where, like, there'll be days where, like, because I also know Spanish really well, and, like, it's very similar dialect in a way, and so sometimes I mix all of them together, like, English, Spanish, and, like, it's really bad for my brain. I don't know what it is.
I feel like being, like, whitewashed is, like, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I feel like speaking Arabic or whatever, like, isn't necessarily, like, what makes you whitewashed. Like, there's just so much more to being from a specific culture, like the values, everything like about you as a person, that like that's kind of what like carries you around and carries that like connection between you and your culture. It's not necessarily the language, because realistically, like most people in the US that are Arab, that are like around our age, probably don't speak Arabic, because most of their life they've probably lived here. And like I probably wouldn't have spoke Arabic if my parents didn't decide to split up and I moved back, you know? So, like, it's really just depending on that, like, connection you have with your culture and just, like, kind of the values that you hold on to, you know? Which I feel like is a big thing, but...
Yeah, I, like, didn't start getting into, like, my, like, Arabic values until, like, I would say, like, till this year. Like, I would, like, not Arabic values, but more so, like, the culture. Like, I didn't start getting into that until, like... Because, like, I went to the Arabic convention or it was 2 summers ago, because it's coming up this summer, and I, like, sat there and I was like, okay, like, I actually want, like, if I ever choose to have children, I, like, want to, like, show them this, and, like, I want them to be, like, a part of this, like, culture and stuff like that, and so that's when I took a toll, and I was like, okay, like, I actually want to be immersed in this.
I feel that so heavy. That's really, like, one of the main things that makes me want to stay so connected, is just, like, I would hate to see my kids not...
Like, have a culture.
Yeah, like obviously they will have a culture wherever it is that we're at. They're gonna adapt to that, but at the same time, like, I'm really big on like not forgetting where you're from, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a big thing. Like, it's not necessarily like being like, oh, I hate this culture, I'm Arab or that.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's so many different ways you can approach things.
I'm obsessed with every culture. Like,
exactly.
Genuinely, like I want to get into it, all of it. But like my mom, like her Arabic cooking to die for. I need to adapt it. Like, I need to learn. Because I need just, like, anyone I'm, like, friends with to, like, know Arabic food, because like my mom like makes hummus for everyone here all the time.
Dude, it was so good.
Really? You had some?
I had some. Immediately, when someone told me that she made hummus, I was like, oh, I am trying that right now.
Yeah, she like showed up and showed out for my birthday. I was like, God, she kept pulling up and stuff, and I was like, Mom. I was like, geez, I was like so grateful, but I was like, whoa, I was not expecting this.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It's not like you were like, oh, why are you doing this? But it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I was like, chill.
Yeah.
I'm like, I literally told her, I was like, Mom, we go to Power Hours, and there's like, you've been to other, like, Nats, and like, everyone else is like, there's Mom. Not usually food.
Yeah, Mom, everyone just brings beer.
Yeah, well, that's what my mom said. My mom was like, wait, what? Like, people brought alcohol? I'm like, yeah, but they brought beer. Like, Mom, that ain't me. Like, I'm not drinking beer. Like, I went to, like, the Sikh Danger the other day for Parents Weekend, and they handed me a beer, and I was just like, is this all you have? And they're like, yeah. I was like, respectfully, no, thank you.
You take that right back.
Yeah, but, okay, I want to talk about how you... Okay, so you sent me two of those things, and you said, like, how Middle Eastern countries are safer than others. What did you mean by that? Yeah,
that's kind of a unpopular opinion, I guess, that, like, because a lot of people, at least, that don't really know much about the Middle East see it, and, like, all they hear about it is, like, bombings and, like, just danger all around. And, like, being that I grew up in the Middle East, especially Syria, where I literally lived, like there was a civil war going on for 2 years while I was there, and it was still, like, people could walk on the street and be safe at 2 a.m. And, like, people, like, you just walk down the street, you know the people around you, people know, like, your family. So, like, in that sense, I feel like it's definitely safer in terms of just, like, human, like, safety.
That's
if
valid.
That makes sense. You know what I mean?
Because when I went to Palestine for my cousin's wedding, I literally was like, it was just 3 girls, and we were like 13, 14, maybe Sarah was 15, and we were walking with my cousin, and she's like, oh, like, let's go to the mall, like, da-da-da, and I was like, right now? She's like, yeah. I was like, it's 9.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. I was like, are you serious? And she was like, and also, like, my dad hasn't been back. That one time we went, like, my dad hasn't been back for, like, a long time. Like, he wasn't there for, like, maybe 5 years. And he was telling us all these, like tea and, like, all this stuff about, like, what we have to wear. We get there, it's so modernized.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think, like, these Middle Eastern countries are modernized. So when I went there and girls were wearing, like, I mean, not, like, short shorts, but, like, they were wearing, like, Bermuda shorts and, like, tank tops, I was like, why did my dad tell me they were, like, covered from head to toe? Like, I was going to be the norm.
Yeah, it's definitely not like that anymore. Like, by that, I mean, like, in the past 20 years even. Like, it hasn't been like that. But, yeah, the reason why I feel like people just think the Middle East is so unsafe is from other, like, third-party danger. You know, like, most times when something is dangerous in a Middle Eastern country, it's because another country did something to, like, harm it in a way. But in terms of, like, the population of, like, countries and the people that live within it, like, I just feel like there's no, like, safer way than going at it. Like, everyone just cares about each other, it feels like, and everyone just, like, no one's gonna really hurt anyone, because, like, you could go hurt someone, and then little do you know, your mom knows their mom, and it's like, oh, shit.
Talk about your other one that you brought up, about being, like, blood, and, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, or not blood, it doesn't necessarily, like, family doesn't necessarily have to be blood.
Yeah, honestly, I think a big reason that, like, kind of I've been able to, like, convince myself that, or really, like, open my eyes to that, is just kind of like what we were saying earlier, just how many times I've had to, like, just relocate and, like, just start from zero, and every time I've always been able to, like, find the right people that I consider family. And, like, yeah, I still have my family and I love all of them, but I definitely feel like my blood family, I mean, but I definitely feel like that isn't really all family is. Like, there's just so much more. Like, the people the people I consider family that aren't blood family definitely know so much more about me and my, like, daily life than my actual blood family, which isn't, like, something bad to say about them, but it's just, it opens your eyes to the fact that, like, like, the people that you choose to surround yourself with and, like, get yourself involved with all the time, those people, like, can mean so much more to you than you would ever imagine, you know, like, more than family sometimes. But
like, my cousins here, like, I like, grew up with them, all that stuff, but, like, I haven't seen them in a while, I'll say, like, especially after we've all grown up and, like, grown apart low-key. Like, I don't think it was my 21st, and they're just like, oh, like, happy birthday, blah, 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 but, like, that's all they can say, and they, like, it was, like, a friend was texting me, like, a long-distance friend, and I was just like, this is so sad.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, because my mom, she's the staple of our family, like, God forbid, whenever she dies, like, I'm scared, like, it's gonna disperse, which is so scary, and, like, I watched the movie, it was called Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, it just came out, and it was, like, the third movie was about just, like, how, like, the parents die, and, like, how the, like, later, like, the kids are gonna, like, keep the family together, and I just sat there, and I was like, low-key scared of that, the ending of, like, it all.
That's true.
Yeah. Would you say, like,
your mom
family?
kind of, like, feels like the glue, or what?
She for sure is.
Yeah.
Like, she always be texting in the family group chat, she's like, we're going, like, there's always tea, or, like, not tea, but just, like, plans going on because of her. Like, I low-key, like, I lack thereof in the family. Like, I'm the worst when it comes to communicating.
Same.
Yeah, and, like, my sisters are, like, Sarah's, like, she communicates, like, she'll probably be the new Linda. My older sister, for sure. And then Murnau, I don't know if she will be. She's more communicative than me, though. She, like, talks to my mom more. I just don't know what it is when it comes. I think I'm just, like, scared for when it does end. And, like, I was so close to them that I'm, like, I'm going to be like, damn. Like, I'm going to miss them so much. And that's why I don't think I, like, communicate as much.
I 100% get where you're coming from. Because I literally have the same exact thoughts all the time. Because I just don't talk to them as much. Not in a bad way. Like, I talk to them, and there's never a problem when I do. Yeah. But I'm not out here, like, telling them what I'm doing. Or, like
every day.
Calling, like, hey, going to do this. What are you up to? Yeah. You know, which, like, I try to improve it. But at the same time, yeah, like, I have 4 sisters. 2 of them are half-sisters. Okay. So, like, honestly, my half-sisters, I couldn't even tell you the last time I talked to them. Which is not good. Like, it's definitely been, like, at least 2 months probably, and that's not good at all. But every time I do talk to them, it's because I'm, like, at my mom's house, and she's like, oh, like, talk to your sisters, you haven't talked to them in forever. Yeah. So, like, she's definitely the glue in that sense. But me and my other sisters, Jenna and Dima, my, like, full sisters, I'm definitely, like, they're a lot more involved in my life than my mom, dad, and 2 other sisters. I talk to them a lot more. They, like, kind of know about my lifestyle, you know? But the rest of my family just has no idea, I feel like, about really what I'm doing. And that could definitely be my fault, but here we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but, like, when it comes to that, it's, like, the phone goes both ways. Mm-hmm. And so, like, totally understandable, like, I for sure lack thereof when it comes to communicating. But, like, and I can't say nothing about my mom because she's always on the phone. Like, she's always making sure I'm okay. Like, she'll call me and she'll be like, I don't know if you can talk right now, but I just want to say hello. And I'm like, shit, like, I feel bad now. Like, hey, what's up? Yeah. But, like, my dad, like, I always, like, have to text him. It's probably because he just doesn't know when, like, I'm available and stuff like that, so he doesn't want to, like, get declined. But, I don't know. I think for sure it goes both ways when you have to, you know?
100%. Yeah. Like, the same thing with my dad. I'm always the one that has to reach out to him. And it's always been weird with my dad because, like, that whole time where I was living in Lebanon and Syria, he was here. Like, we didn't really have much contact. And when I moved here even and lived with him, we still didn't have much contact. Like, I literally used to wake up, go to school, go to practice, hang out with my friends, come back home. And he'd be at work that whole time, and I'd see him for, like, an hour at night. And he'd be like, oh, how are your grades and shit, you know, all the basics.
Yeah, it's very substantial, like, talking with my dad.
Yeah, every time I talk to my dad, I feel like it has to do something about how I'm doing in school or how I'm not doing enough, you know, and it's just like, damn. So talking to him, I like talking to him and, like, keeping him involved, but a lot of times it feels like when I'm talking to him, it's just like I'm trying to, like, beat the race, you know, and it's like, oh, when are you getting there, type shit. Yeah, every time I call him, it's just like he always repeats the same sentence, like, oh, like, I haven't heard from you in forever, why don't you call me more? And I'm like, bruh, I called you the last time we talked and the last time and like, the last time. Me. Yeah, like, you can reach out too. So like, I definitely see what you're saying about that, like, 2-way street, you know, like, it's definitely how it is. But a lot of times we're given that responsibility because we're, like, younger, so we're seen as the people with more free time. But realistically, like, everyone's doing their own shit nowadays.
And, like, right now, especially, like, early 20s, bye.
Right.
Like, that's when you have to, like, I mean, like, I guess, like, in my family, like, my mom, like, truly, like, they are like after college, like I'm graduating in the fall, and like I'm like the type of
that's awesome.
Thanks. I'm the type of person that wants to like get out and get out of it, like get after it, because like there's so much like going, like you don't know when your last day is. I'm so morbid like that. Sorry, morbid. Yeah, that's the word. Never mind.
I think so. No, I definitely think that's a good way to like live by and look at.
Because I like genuinely just like my sister, love her, but like after, well, she's also had like her story, like she had a stroke, and so like that's why she had to move back home and like and just like adapt in that aspect, and like I'm so grateful that like she's alive and doing well, but like just seeing her like live at home, I'm like I don't want to do that, and I don't want to like, because when I go back home, like love my family, but I just feel like I'm not my best self, and so I'd rather like go out there and try to find who that person is, instead of like going back to my old places and like not being able to go, if that makes sense.
I feel like you're just like pulling words out of my head and saying them. Like literally I feel the exact same way. I saw my family yesterday, and when I do see them, like I love them obviously, but I just want to get out. Like I just want to come back and like go back to like the lifestyle and things that I am used to doing, just because I don't know, it just feels a little off in terms of just like the conversation and all that stuff. But
and like I love seeing my family. Like this whole weekend though was a little draining, like just my birthday and then like family weekend, and then like, but I'm so like, and then I hear myself saying that and I'm just like, but I'm so grateful they're still alive, so like why am I being so annoying, like seeing my family for like 5 days. But I think I'm just so used to like the comfortability of like having my own space that like when I do see them, it like is so much like it's so quiet here.
Right.
That like when I go really see my family, it's so like, no one's here right now. Yeah. It's so quiet. So then when I see my family for like 10 minutes, I'm like, whoa. I'm like not used to this loudness. I miss it. Yeah. But at the same time, like I love not having to like yell every 5 seconds. But it's not like bad yelling. It's just like that's how we talk. Yeah. So it's like
100%.
You know.
The amount of times I've had people be like, "Why do you talk so aggressive?" And like, "Why are you yelling all the time?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm just talking." Like. Yeah. No, but I feel you. Like. I 100% get where you're coming from. Like, it's not that there's anything wrong with being around family or anything we dislike about it. It's just, I think we've gotten really comfortable with just our lifestyle and having what we have, you know? And going back to that kind of feels like it's setting you back, you know? Yeah. In a way. But, yeah, it's definitely nice change of scenery, you know?
Like, so when you tell your parents, like, because you want to go, like, you're doing business? And, like, what do you want to do with that?
Honestly, yeah, I don't really know yet. Like, I'll probably get like a office job realistically, but for now, I'm just like really focused on getting it done because I didn't personally want to finish college. But I definitely think it's a good idea. Well, I've kind of like what I was telling you. Like, since I was a kid, I've always been just put in situations and having to like learn how to deal with them. So that's kind of really taught me how to like. Just being like a hard worker, and it's kind of like engraved it in me. So I would much rather just work 50-hour weeks than go to school, which is what I did for a year. I took a year off, and I just like was working, and eventually I realized like, yeah, this is awesome, whatever, but I honestly what got me back into school is I had like a little cancer scare from my mom. She got diagnosed with cancer. And when that happened, I was like, shit. Then my mom would always tell us, like, the only thing I want to see from you is to get married and to graduate, as every mom says. Yeah. And she's probably not going to see me get married because that ain't going to happen anytime soon. But
God forbid, do you think she's, like, gonna...
Oh, no. Okay. God forbid. I don't think it's gonna, like, anything will happen anytime soon.
You don't think in the next 10 years?
Well, maybe, but
10 years
like
is such a long time.
That is a long time. But my point is that like school is something that I can like work towards, but like getting married is just it either happens or it doesn't. You know, who knows?
I'm not looking.
Exactly. So I was like, at least I can do one of the two like accomplishments. I'd rather finish my degree than like force marry myself. You know. So I was like,
we don't want that.
Hell no. So I was like, I'm just gonna finish school and like kind of do it for them, my parents, especially my mom, but obviously it's not something that's going to harm me having a degree, so I was like, I'm just going to do it. So I kind of dropped my full-time job. I was working at a hotel. I was just working my ass off there, to be honest, but I figured I needed to like kind of change that around maybe cut down a little bit on the work, but at least finish that for my mom because both of my full sisters are both getting their masters, or one of them got her masters, one of them's getting her masters, so they're definitely like the brains in the house. I'm just the like hustler kid that is out and about all the time.
For your sisters, like, what do they do?
One of them, I think I can say this, she posted it on her Instagram story. One of them works at the White House, and yeah, she's like huge on like politics. Yeah. She loves that shit, which is crazy because she like always talks to us at the house, and like she debates with my dad all the time when she comes back from DC.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Not a good thing, because my dad is so how to be like. Yeah, my sister Dima works in the White House right now. She got her master's at Georgetown, and she's smart as. And she's just like so locked in on what she wants.
Is that the one you posted on your, or she posted on her story and you reposted it?
No, that's my other sister, Jonah. She lives with my mom right now.
Okay.
She has a dog rescue actually, or like a pet rescue. Yeah, so she does that, and she's also getting her master's right now. I'm pretty sure at UCLA or something, but like online. So she's like living with my mom. Yeah. And she has like a office job that she does for now until she graduates. And that's really what they do. And then my two other sisters, the ones that live in the Middle East still, my half sisters, one of them has 3 kids and she's a stay-at-home mom. I've been an uncle since I was like 4.
For real?
Yeah. And then my other sister, she like just has a job and lives there. But.
Oh my gosh. I've heard like my cousins, because I have like majority of my dad's cousins or my dad's brothers live here, but my dad's sister lives back in Palestine. And when I went to go visit them, like they were all like married and like had kids, and I just went over there and I was just like she doesn't know what's going on over here, and we don't know like what's going on over there, like with that family. And so when they were like asking us like, oh, where are you going to college? And I was just like, oh, I'm going to college like for videography and photography. And they're like, you're going to college for photography? And I was like, oh. I'm like, I'm gonna mind my business. Like, it was so embarrassing.
Can't you just take a picture? Like.
Oh my god, funny story. My dad, I wanted to go into college for film production. So like basically making movies, because I love movies and I love cinematography. Like literally anytime I watch a movie, I'm like, that angle is perfect. And everyone's like, did you even watch the plot? I'm like, I did, but I love camera work.
You're missing the right things though.
I'm like, but did you see the way they captured that angle? It wouldn't have been the plot if it wasn't the angle. Anyways.
That is true though.
Yeah. And so I wanted to go into film and production, but my parents got into my head and they were like, how are you gonna like make a living? Which in the broader scheme of things, when I was first a freshman, I was like, how can they not let me do what I want? But in the broader scheme of things, it came out of their heart. Like, they wanted me to make money. They want me to survive in life. Like, that's how they, like, learned. Like, my dad went to school for an engineer, but then, like, he helped his brother, like, start a business. So then, like, that's how, like, my dad adapts, and, like, now he's, like, a business owner, which works for him. But, like, I can see, like, that's not what he wants to do. And so, like, I'm just, like, sitting there, and I was, like, I had to tell my dad, I'm, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do this. Like, I told him about my podcast. He's, like, well, does it make you money? I'm like, not yet. I was like, hopefully soon, but not yet. And he was just like, it took him a while to understand like what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And it's still to this day, like one time I told him, I was like, yeah, like I'm photojournalism, like videography. And he's like, I brought you to school for 4 years for videography. And I was like,
see, that's the thing, like it might sound hella cliche, but like you can really make a living doing anything as long as like it's something you're willing to put all your effort into. And for something to be like something you want to put your effort into, you have to love that thing, you know, and like care about it a lot. Yeah. So I think it's definitely a good thing that you like decided to keep pursuing it and doing what you actually want, because whether it's now or in a few years, like you will get the results you want.
No, but I have this mentor that I have like 2 mentors actually, and one of them is like photography, videography, and then the other one's for like just like life, because she like used to work at like news outlets, and then she also like I just got her and she's supposed to help me like for when I graduate and like to help me with that stuff. And so we had like a Zoom call recently, and she's like, oh, like what do you do? Da-da. And I'm like, oh, like I really want to like put all my like effort into this podcast that I just started, because like I've never like genuinely put anything, like I've never like put my all into anything. Does that make sense? Like I've never genuinely like sat there and was like, I'm gonna take my time and do this. And so like I took this opportunity and I was like, let's see where this can take me. And so now I'm gonna put like all my effort and my money low key into this and see where it takes me, and I really hope, like, and she's been helping me. She's like, oh, we can get this somewhere. And she's like, do you make money already? And I was like, no. And she's like, really? She's like, this is like, looks like a high production, like, I was like, really? I was like, stop.
I mean, the setup looks high production.
Season 2 is insane. Season 2, I really was like, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
So this is definitely, we'll see where this takes me, but I don't know. Well, I don't know, but
no, it's definitely like a professional ass setup, and like I don't know what the setup used to look like in season 1, but
I think I still have it in here.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say this is a huge upgrade.
Just this.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck. But yeah.
Little mushroom microphone.
Literally, and that was more expensive than this setup. Can you believe it? But the audio was so good.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like
it sounded good on Spotify.
The audio was amazing. Like, this is good audio, but like that was like so crisp, and it like canceled out any background noise. Like this, I'm gonna have to denoise it in Audition.
Oh, good thing we didn't have this fan on.
That's why I have to redo one of my friends' like podcasts. I mean, her like one of. But anyways, moving on. So like, if you were, because I have this question, because I feel like a lot of men or just boys in general have to like adapt to living and like find a way to like, because I guess it's like that social norm of like the men have to like provide. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just wondering if like if you didn't have to provide and you didn't have to like have that social norm, what's like the thing you would want to do in life? Like what's something that you
that's such
like
a
if
question.
Money or no social like judgment was in the area, like what would you do?
If no social judgment was in the area,
like
I would probably try to like post videos online, honestly. And
like what type of videos?
I feel like I have an interesting life, you know.
You do.
And not just necessarily like my background, like even like my everyday life. I just feel like me and the people I surround myself with, it's just like very entertaining, at least to me, you know?
Yeah, they are.
So I feel like I could definitely do something like that, and like I would love doing that because I'm just still doing what I do every day, but instead showing people out there, you know, and like kind of, and like I guess inspiring people to be more comfortable, because like I'm you've seen me with the people I'm like surround myself with, and like we're overly comfortable with each other, and just like it's just like we're just really, I don't know, like it's just a judgment free zone. I feel like wherever I am, but yeah, which is really good, which is exactly what I kind of want to like show people, but that kind of contradicts the reason why I haven't started it, because I'm just like so worried about what other people are gonna say, and it actually like working out and stuff, and being able to like make a living off it.
Yeah.
So that's really it. Or honestly, I love playing soccer. Like I don't care how bad or good I am at it. Like I would love to like coach in the future, but I just don't feel like I have the resume behind it, you know.
For like coaching?
Yeah, because I feel like if you're gonna coach, you have to be like a ex-D1 player or something.
Like my brother's coach is like, he played soccer at I think it's either UCLA or Oregon State. I don't know which one it was, but he like played soccer there, and like now he coaches my brother's like club team, and I'm like, period. But
yeah, imagine me going to coach. Oh, how was your career as a player? Yeah, I played high school and I played for ASU club team.
But I feel like you for sure could like use that. Like ASU's still good.
It is.
Is it?
It is.
Okay. Like I don't know, I haven't been to a game, but I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's like if you show them your skill path and like just like I feel like knowing soccer in general, like you could still be a coach. Like probably not like a college coach.
Yeah.
But for sure, like a little league coach.
Yeah, which would be cool.
Okay.
Like I just love like surrounding myself with like that sport. Really, like I never find myself as happy and just literally being myself more than when I'm just like on the field with my teammates. Like, but yeah, that's really like the way I would answer that, honestly. Just either posting stuff online and kind of just like letting people see more of my life and more inside of it, or like coaching soccer, which would be really cool. Because sometimes when I'm off work, I like to Uber.
That's
because I just feel like, again, like I was telling you earlier, like I'm just chasing money and I'm just gonna work hard to do it, but like now I'm focused on other things, so I feel like Uber is like a really cool thing to do right now, because I can just start and drop it whenever I want. And that weekend was perfect, so I was like, okay, I'm going to work hella. I worked like 7 hours, and I was like, all right, we're going out tonight.
Yeah.
I do not care. So we were going out, and yeah, we went to Casa and Varsity. They were both cool.
I need to go to Varsity.
Yeah, Varsity's nice. Honestly.
I need to ride the bull.
Yeah, you need to ride the bull, bro.
So
Everyone
sad.
does that on their birthday,
It
too.
was just like either or, and I was like, I want to hit up Casa. So
Yeah.
I had to get the bucket.
Nah, low-key Casa is like,
It.
it's nicer
It's
than
chill.
Varsity.
Yeah.
In my
Well, I went to
opinion.
Varsity once, but I haven't been like, I went to Varsity with like for like a function for like a frat, and it was like chill. I was like, wait, this outdoor area is kind of dope.
Mhm.
But like I've never been to the downstairs area, and like I wanted to see if it was probably different with like your friend. But then
Yeah.
he said it was so much money that I was like, let's just go here.
Yeah.
So it was like whatever.
I didn't know Varsity had a rooftop until like 2 days ago. And I've literally been going there for like 7 months now.
Yeah, cause like one of my friends, that one time I went, my friends were like, come like out here, and I was like, where? And they're
Where
like,
you guys at?
they're like up the stairs, and I was like, what? And then I was like, kind of like, and then they had these cute couches. I was like, this is nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go out. Like I'm so I'm supposed to go
yeah.
out on Thursday, which I'm super excited about.
Hell yeah.
Which
No,
is
that'd
like,
be
have
fun.
you ever heard of Cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cake is cool. The one in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you know.
It's pretty nice. I mean, I haven't gone there, but I've definitely heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't really go out a lot, to be honest.
Me neither. So I'm a little scared with my 21 abilities now that I'm like, whenever there's the opportunity, because I use 21 like not being 21 as like my.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I can't go out.
Oh, guys, like, sorry, but I just genuinely don't like, my friend's having a birthday this week, like, during the week, and I can't go out, like, I have to be in bed by 10 on the weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if I, like, literally last night, I went to bed at, like, 10, woke up at 8, and maybe that's just too long to sleep, but, like, genuinely, like, I was so tired this morning.
No, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that big on going out, to be honest. Like, the night before your power hour, there was another power hour.
Yeah.
And, like, mill trip. And I didn't even go to that. Like,
I know. I was like, literally everyone was there, and I was like, where's Jude? Everyone's like, oh, like, he's working. I was like, working.
yeah, I literally preferred going out and Ubering than going to that party. Like, that's the case
Valid.
almost every weekend, to
Yeah.
be honest. But,
Really?
yeah, almost every weekend I just would rather work or even just sit at home than
Yeah.
go out. But,
Quick question.
obviously.
Do your parents, like, help you in any way with, like, money, or do you just, like, really have that mentality, like, you need to
Well,
get that money?
ever since I moved here when I was 15, I immediately got a job and I became financially independent
Oh, for real?
immediately, like since I was 15. But recently my dad started helping me with my tuition. So cuz I've had to pay my tuition in the past, like for community colleges and shit and whatever, but recently he told me he'll help me out because he used to be like, no way you're going to community college, like that's what losers do and shit. And he was like, if you're gonna do that, you need to pay for it. And I was like, all right, bet. And then now that I moved over to ASU, he was like so excited that he said he'd help me with my tuition just because I'm going to a university.
Yeah.
And I was like, say less. Like, shit,
Yeah.
21 years later and I'm
For
getting
real.
help, I'm down.
I'm down. Well, no, my dad did that. It's so weird because my dad literally said the same thing. He was like, because I was talking about community college, because funny story, I wasn't big on college either. Like, I did not want to go to school because I hated high school, and I literally was like, I hate getting, even like getting an A in class, I hated it. Getting a B, getting a C, getting like C's, I was like, shit, like I hate my life, because like then my dad would be like, how are you getting C's in this shit, whatever.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story, like, I did not want to go to college because I did not want that like aspect of learning. I love learning. Like, give me a documentary, give me like an article, like I'll read it, I'll learn on my own, but I hate like receiving grades back because like I missed something, like whatever, like all that stuff. And then I told him, I was like, I'll go to community college, but I don't want to go to college. And he was like, you're gonna go to community college? No. He's like, if I'm paying for you, you're going to college. And I was like, okay. So then I go to college wanting to do what I wanted to do earlier, and he's like, you're not doing that. And I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? He's like, law or doctor. And I was like, you're not getting that. I sat my dad down. I was like, you're not getting that.
Yeah.
I was like, if you want me to like pass college, just because I wasn't passionate, like if I really sat down and was passionate about like becoming a doctor or a lawyer, maybe I would like take that route. But like I knew damn well like all that work and all that learning like would actually cause me to go crazy. So I was like, I want to do something that like brings me joy. And my dad laughs at that sometimes, but...
Because, I mean, you're not going to sit down and study for 5 hours reading stuff that you absolutely can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to be studying,
Yeah.
at least it could be something that you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like my dad, like paying being like, going into or dentistry, like it does chemistry and bio like for 3 hours at a time, like every night. Like she comes home from like her class for journalism, but now she's doing like dentistry, so she has to like do extra classes, and she just sits there and she like does all this homework, and I look at her and I'm like, oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, for real.
Like I could never do that.
I can only do homework for like 20 minutes at a time, and then I need to take a break, and then I come back.
Yeah, well actually that's the way you're supposed to do it. I found an article about it actually, like
really,
it's fuck, people will know, but it's like 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, or 10 minutes off.
That's the way to do it, because I feel like I'm brain dead if I like sit down for like an hour and study. I literally am like, holy shit, that was crazy. Like
low-key, this generation I feel like just has adapted to like, and technology is actually really bad for you, as we have like LED lights and everything on me, but like genuinely, like it's probably the worst thing that could be for a generation, because one, blue light is so bad for your brain. Like when I look at my computer, I'm like brain dead. Like I can't. I need blue light glasses actually.
And we all have the worst attention span in the world, because we're just used to watching 1 minute videos that like can teach us. And that's another thing I feel like. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like all that stuff has just made everyone, or especially myself, just such a like visual learner. Like I can't sit down and like read something and understand it. I need to see it, and then I'll be fine. Like I'll learn anything.
I feel like I've always been a visual learner. Like have you always been, or have you like adapted to that?
I think I've always been a visual learner.
Because I've always like when it comes to schooling, like in high school, I realized I was a visual learner when like I was taking like computer classes, and like they would show us. And, like, anytime, like, the teacher showed me something, I'd be like, perfect. Like, I've got this.
You should have said that
But
earlier.
when they were reading it out loud, I'd be like, I'd have to ask her 3 times. And she's like, do you understand it now? And I'm like, no. That's why math, I was actually low-key good at math. But, like, because you have to show the work and stuff.
Exactly.
Anyways. But, like, writing, even though I go to school for writing, like, I'm good, but I'm not good. But then, like, also, science really got me. I sucked at science.
Really?
Yeah. Were you good at science?
I guess not biology. But I was pretty good at physics, because that's, like, mainly math anyways. But, yeah, I've just been pretty good at math, honestly.
Now that's a flex if I were to have one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to start just telling people that.
I'm good at math.
Hey, what's your name? Jude, I'm good at math, by the way.
No, because actually, like, because my parents actually are so, like, math. I don't know if they, like, are mathematically and scientifically driven, but, like, genuinely, my mom and my dad are like, my mom was an architect and my dad was an engineer by profession, but then like my dad became a business owner, and then my mom like became a stay-at-home mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so but they are so like mathematically and scientifically smart that when we started, like my older sister, she wanted to go into like fashion. She's in fashion, and then I said like film production, and then my little sister's going into dance. Like, my dad and my mom looked at each other and they're like, where'd we
go wrong?
Where is our scientific and mathematical process? Like, where did they go? But I sat down, I said, sorry. I was just like, but wait. My mom was like, if I knew you guys were going to be, like, artistically driven, I would have put you in, like, a fine arts school. And I'm like, would you have, though?
Yeah.
Because, like, fine arts schools are for, like, acting. Like, I'm no actor.
Yeah.
You can't catch me acting behind a camera. Like, I laugh. Like, one time me and Kayla had to do, like, an acting video for, like, our Spanish class. So bad. But, like, we always... Also, maybe because it was Kayla, but I was, like, looking at her, and I was, like, I couldn't stop laughing.
That's fair.
Yeah,
so... A lot of times, if it's your homie, you just can't take him serious.
Like, I'd be looking at her, and she's, like, speaking, because it was, like, doctor. It was, like, we had to, like, say, like, a bone was broken. And she, like, was just looking at me. She's like, where does it hurt? And I just looked at her, and I was like... It took us, like, 40 minutes. We should have taken us 10. Our time has come to an end, sadly. But, with that being said...
Have a good day.
And don't forget to go
with the waves.
Period.